Hey everybody, OCD Mikey here. We are close up on a shield that is wrapped around a power cord. This is a Joe Cohen Prana piece. This is a synergistic Ted Denny piece. We've got a guy that was out of, I guess his current cable. The guy's out of business now or not doing it anymore. And here is to just go over and show you real quick what cables may look like. If you see this in somebody's rig, you know they've got the affliction. You know they're one of us. They need a 12-step program, and it's called HiFi, and I'm powerless over HiFi. This is a HiFi little USB filter. Everything here is wrapped in copper as a way to shield everything. Here's some more Ted Denny cables. And you see he's got his little bullet things that tune and everything like that. So we're going to play with these a second. But I wanted to show you the crazy stuff that we go through as audiophiles. This is how, hopeful we are. We believe in anything, and we're willing to pretty much do anything to get better sound. If it means wrapping our stuff in copper foil, if it means, you know, spending $2,500 for a power cord, if it means putting a USB filter on and wrapping it. Here's another, this is a Ted Denny piece, a black box from Synergistic that just sits in the room and does something wacky. It's a passive device, and we've got some real crafty little fasteners here that have just ever so slightly oblong, little out of round key that you would use to open these up. If this were mine, the first freaking thing I would do is open this thing up and pull it apart, because just to see what's in there. But I'm not gonna ask to do. See, it's got its little seal on there. That thing would be torn immediately the second I got it. So I've got some. Well, he says it's similar to that brass bowl, but the brass thing that we have there is a resonant piece. You can understand that. It's pretty easy to understand. It's a resonant bronze that resonates in the room, and that makes sense. You know, these have been around forever, these kind of resonating devices, and who knows what's in the black box. It's very mysterious. It has sealed up. You can't get in it. That always makes me want to get in there twice as bad, because I think they're trying to hide something. Maybe, I mean, otherwise, why would you not do it? It's because they don't want you to find out, in my opinion, that it's like a $5 thing in there. But maybe it is some secret technology that only NASA knows about, or whatever. But so we are going to try these pieces in the rig and play around, and I will get back with you later in a second. So hold on. Again, none of this down here in the front with these speakers nor this amp, none of that's hooked up. Okay, we're listening to the subs with the big speakers over here, the big speakers left and right. Okay, we got those and those. And we're listening to the Playback Designs MPD-8, the crossover Nat amp on the tweeters, Jeff Rowland 625 S2 on the mids and mids and woofers. And then these are the subs, okay, that we're playing, those 612s. So we're just going to play with some tweaks here and let you guys join the craziness. I'm glad he came by with all this crap, because I would not have it in me to do this. I've been through it so many times, but he brought a bunch of stuff, and so now I'm going to do this for you guys, and you guys get to enjoy the insanity that we go through, because these little tweaks will make differences, and you should be able to hear them. Anyways, the first thing is this little deal. An HiFi, I think it is, piece. We're going to put this in at the back of the DAC where the USB goes in, right? And we're going to listen to it. So let's start first with out. I'm going to start here at 30. Okay. Here we go.
And I remember 'cause I think you're pretty. You shine brighter, baby, in my heart. And all the bright lights in this New York City. And all the bright lights in New York. time that I saw you was dark, and I remember that you don't believe me.
Okay, so 40 seconds. I'll be back. Hold on. Okay, so now we made the change. And I was just wondering if we should spark one up before we do this. Because we're about ready to head down the rabbit hole. I've been down it many times. Figure might as well make it a little more fun.
And I remember 'cause I think you're pretty. You shine brighter, baby, in my heart, than all the bright lights in this New York City, and all the bright lights in New York. Last time that I saw you was dark, and I remember that you don't believe me.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys could hear that. What I got over here was, it almost seemed like a little teeny bit of gain or something on it. But the S's were more sibilant. It was a little more S through that S's, so it was less natural to me. It gave it a little bit more vibrance, you know, or a little more oomph into the sonic. But to me, it lost a little of its naturalness. It became a little bit more strident, a little bit more, you know, digital, if you want to use that word. It took away the naturalness. So I don't know if you guys heard that, but that's the first test. We're going to take that thing back out now. Okay, so real quick, I'm just going to go back now to the cable, or just without that little thing in line. Just so that you guys know, by the way, I swapped out the server, and I'm using a $100 Allo server. There's reasons why I won't go into, but we're using a server that is like, that is like a cheap server, okay? It's a streamer, actually. It's a cheap streamer. It's $100 or less, and we're coming out of it USB. We're going, of course, we go in. It's a Raspberry Pi, okay? So we're going into the thing with USB. We're coming right off the Pi with no sound card, okay? And this is how good it sounds. So this is why when people talk to me about $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, $30,000, even higher streamers, it's a laugh. It's an absolute laugh. You know, it's a damn computer. All it needs to do is spit out a digital bit stream. That's all it does. It spits music out in digital form. Now I'm gonna swap out a $100 streamer and put in a $3,000 streamer, and let's listen to how it sounds. Hold on. Okay, everybody. So here we go. Now I have taken the Allo streamer out with the USB out, and now we're doing it Playback Designs manner, which is with the Playback Design streamer, and we're coming out with a glass digital fiber to the DAC, which in my opinion is a superior way to go than using USB. Okay, here we are around the back of the unit, so you're not confused by my statement about how glass digital fiber optic is better. Let me show you something. So here's a USB connection, right? And as you can see, it's loose. So depending on the weight of your USB cable, this thing moves around. It's loose in there. If you look at the little, let's see if we can focus. You see those little contacts in there? Okay, so those things have to touch contacts on the inside of this socket, right? There's 4 of them. There's 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. And when you move them, you put different pressure on them. If it's leaning down, you're going to put better pressure on, you know, the top or the bottom, depending which way it's bending, depending on how you've got your cable routed. And it's just janky as hell. This is a freaking printer peripheral connection. That's what this was designed for. Frickin' computer printers. So to use it in HiFi, to me, it's just it's crappy to give it to be good about it, you know? Here is ST digital glass fiber. This is AT&T digital glass fiber. You see that? That's a fiber optic. There's a laser light that comes down there. You put this into its slot like that. You have let me focus this over there. You have a beautiful twist lock with stainless steel. It twists and holds right in there. This thing doesn't move, man. It's secured. It can't pull out. And this is light that you're running the digital on. You're not running the digital down a freaking copper wire or silver or whatever, a wire. So that means when you come off your streamer, like is right here, you come out of the back of your streamer. So you got the internet coming in right here via Ethernet. You're popping out after this thing's reclocked and given it a nice, beautiful signal, okay? You pop it out in glass fiber through laser light. So that means there's no EMF, no radio frequency. There's no radio noise that can get on here. There's no electromagnetic stuff that can get on here because it's light. It's not wire. This is so much more advanced than the freaking USB printer cable. It's not even funny. This is what they use at the NOC, the Network Operations Center, where you see all those servers, stacks and stacks and stacks, a room full of servers. They all have these on there, man, because these are the professional high-level grade, okay? Playback understands that, and so they have the inputs that are professional level, not some janky-ass computer printer BS, which is the USB. Even though the USB sounds phenomenal, just from a physical standpoint, you can see how far superior a twist lock insert is like that than some joke of a thing like this to use for our sacred hi-fi, right? So this is what I mean when I say the glass fiber's better, and Playback Designs does it in a smarter way than any other manufacturer. They all like to use, I mean, what they do as a half measure in between this and that is they'll use Ethernet. So, you know, that's better because the Ethernet clicks in and locks in place, but it still can get noise on the Ethernet because it is a wire, whereas this is light, okay? You can't mess with light, baby. It's the highest frequency. So anyways, just wanted to point that out. This is a Virastar cable, by the way. Excellent cable design, I may say. This is the real deal, okay? See you. Okay, so here we are with the Playback Designs apparatus.
And I remember 'cause I think you're pretty. You shine brighter, baby, in my heart. And all the bright lights in this New York City. And all the bright lights in New York. Last time that I saw you, it was dark. And I remember that you don't believe me.
Okay, so yeah, that was quite a bit better. I don't know if y'all heard that, but I mean, just even with the piano, when in that last little bit, that was in the background with the other one, it definitely, we could hear it much better. It was definitely more dimensional, three-dimensional, had better layering and better depth on this end. So this is what makes it impossible to put it into words for you guys. You have to experience it. The difference between these two things is like, one, when you put in the playback, something just seems completely right. You just know it. Your body feels it. You sense it. Something is natural. Something is correct. When I play with the Aloe, I can't really knock it. I can't find things in there that I would say, oh, it's horrible, it's driving me crazy, because it's not. It still sounds fabulous. But when you put the other one in, you're like, oh yeah, okay. So I don't know how to put this into words for you guys. It's probably like, it's probably like going out driving in a fast Mustang, you know, and, you know, you're hauling ass, you're on the track, whatever. It's a saline, it's great, it's excellent, you're having fun. And then you get into a Porsche GT3 or, you know, a GT2, you know, the difference between the two, you know, you get in the other one, you're like, oh yeah, okay, I got it. Or maybe like, oh, I don't know if I'll use this example. Hell with it. I'm going to use it anyways. Remember when the first time you had sex and you had sex with the other person, whoever it is, and it was freaking awesome. It was great. You couldn't believe it. But then you had sex with somebody that knew how to have sex, and you're like, oh my God, this is what's going on. Same kind of thing with this. You listen to the first one, you're like, it's great, man. I can't knock anything. This is great. But then you put the next one in, and you're like, oh wow, okay, I get it. And it's not a hearing thing. It is a sense. It's a feeling thing. It's an emotion thing. It's a connection. It's just like your body just knows on a subliminal level, and you can feel it. You're like, this one is more right. This one is more correct. It just feels, I just know it. You know it, and it's unmistakable. And it's impossible to put into words, and it's not a listening thing. So try that one on for size. Hey everybody, okay, Mikey, HiFi guy, what's happening? So here's what happened as it rolls up with our whole thing, man. We listened to the cables and did all this crap. He had some synergistic little footer things. He had a preamp that he wanted to try that we put in here, a preamp that he really loved. It was a great preamp, but the DAC sounded better without the preamp in, which was my experience with that DAC, is that it sounds better than any preamp. Doesn't matter how good the preamp is, you put it in, it takes away from the output of that DAC, which is exceptionally well designed, that analog output section. So we did that. We listened to the preamp, took it in and out. I didn't want to bore you with these things because they were so slight. It was definitely better without the preamp, but the preamp didn't make it bad. It just was better without it, in my opinion. And then we tried listening to the cables, and the Virastar cables that we put in were better than the Synergistic that we listened to. They sounded more clear. I just, it's just really tedious to take you guys through all this little crap. And the bottom line, and what I'm trying to show you guys and teach you about this, and we're going to really get onto a program shortly, and you'll see what I mean. But, and I'm going to bring people through this in steps. I'm going to bring all of you with me, and we're going to all do this together, okay? So what we were getting is little bits here and there, a little bit this way, a little bit better that way. And, today was confirmation for me that I just can't stand tweaks past a very short level. To me, a tweak is putting a stand, okay? Putting your gear on vibration isolation. That is crucial to me, I believe. Using a good set of cables. Now, not ridiculous expensive cables. I'm talking about $1,000 interconnects. I'm talking about $1,000 power cords. I'm not talking about, $5,000 interconnects, $7,000 power. None of that, okay? You got to put some decent cables in there. You got to put your stuff on isolation. But all this little USB filter, these little things that go everywhere, man. I mean, it's like, and fuses and little boxes that go in the rooms and things that go all over the place. Look, there's a fine line with this stuff. And the bottom line is this. Your gear should sound phenomenal without a bunch of crap hooked up to it, without a bunch of all these wires and things and grounding things and all this crap that you got hooked up. Your gear should sound kick-ass without any of it, okay? Because what happens is when you start to tweak things, you end up, it's like you end up moving it a little bit this way, okay? And what we're talking about is we got neutral in the middle, which is transparent. We've got sharp on one end. We've got soft on the other end. And all you're doing is moving it towards soft or sharp or neutral. And a tweak is not neutral. Neutral is great cables, great equipment, room treatment, clean power. That's neutral. Okay, once you start adding things in, now depending on how you buy your gear, if let's say you buy a sharp sounding DAC, and I'm using the word sharp and soft so people understand easy what I mean. Okay, I don't use those terms typically. I would use other more I don't know what you'd call it, more uptown words, right? I'd use strident for sharp or whatever, strident or forward sounding, right? But I'm going to use simple terms: sharp, soft, neutral. Okay. You start out with a sharp DAC. You're going to need to put in a soft preamp to tame that sharp DAC. You just went from one side. Here's the middle where you want to be. You just took it from the red zone this way, and then you swung it over to middle by putting an extreme this side piece to balance it right here. Okay? So what happens is, let's say your DAC is sharp. Okay? You put in a soft preamp to bring it here. Okay? So you got sharp DAC, soft preamp, your sound is right here. Okay? Now, if you take out that sharp DAC and you put in a higher quality DAC that is neutral, okay, that is transparent, it's going to sound right here. You're going to say, that DAC sounds too soft, the new DAC. You're going to be like, that sounds too soft. It's too soft. And then you're going to go on the forums, you're going to go, I tried that DAC, and it's a soft-sounding DAC. But no, it's not a soft-sounding DAC. It's a perfectly balanced DAC that you put into a rig that had a sharp DAC, and so you threw it off. I hope you understand this. This is how the tail chasing works. You keep buying something to offset something else, to offset something else. Then you take it out, and you put in a new piece, and now you're jacked again. So let me explain how this goes. You have a sharp DAC to begin with. 90% of DACs are sharp. The cheap ones especially, okay? It's going to be sharp sounding. You offset it with a soft preamp to offset it so you got sound right here, okay? Now you want to improve your sound. So you go up the ladder with a DAC. You buy a neutral DAC, one that's balanced, okay? So you buy that balanced DAC, and now your sound is going to go over this way because you have a soft sounding preamp. So now you're going to be in the too soft sound. You're going to want to get it more, you're going to want more detail all of a sudden, okay? You're going to feel like, oh, a lot more natural, but kind of rolled off. I need more detail. So you're going to put something sharp in again to bring it this way and to put it up in the middle. So now you're going to put in, let's say you put in some stainless steel cone footers or something like that, right? Like these cups, like Synergistic or something, you know, those little metal cup things. That's going to be harder sounding. That's going to bring you back to normal. Now you're going to take what you turned soft into something by adding a neutral DAC. You're going to put some metal cups under. You're going to bring it back to normal again. Okay? So now you're back at normal again using these cups. Now, if you take out the soft preamp and you put in a better, more neutral sounding preamp, boom, it's going to lean you sharp again. Okay? And then you're going to be like, man, it's too sharp. I need to soften it off. So maybe you buy a soft DAC. I mean, do you understand where I'm going with this? It is a process of compensating, overcompensating, then compensating again, then compensating again, then bringing it this way, this way, and you don't know your head from a hole in the ground because you didn't just buy neutral stuff that was high level at the beginning. You started with lower stuff, which is sharp, and it throws you one way. You overcompensate with something with cables that are soft, and then you throw in a new DAC, and then it's too soft sounding, so you need to put in some metal somewhere, footers or something to bring it back sharper, or you put in silver, or you do something else, and you go back and forth. And really the bottom line is you must look at a rig from a cohesive, holistic way. If you do it like everybody does it, I add a part here, I add a part there, I get a part from this dealer, I add a part from that guy selling the thing used, I go get a part over here, and I throw it all together, you're going like this. You're bringing the sound like ear, 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 and you're going to drive yourself nuts, and you're going to keep buying and keep going. That's how this whole sickness works, okay? And that's what keeps us making money off you guys. Now, I tell people, hold your horses, slow down, stop. Let's start from scratch. And I do it in a different way, okay? And we will all do this together. I'm bringing a program. You guys just wait. It's coming. And we will do this together. My results will be guaranteed. And you'll like what I'm doing. But I just wanted to come here, bring this to you guys, point some things out to you. Today was just another reinforcement that I can't stand tweaks. All you need is good quality made cables. You don't need crazy shit. You just need a good server. You don't need crazy stuff. You need a killer DAC, okay? But killer DAC does not cost more than 15 to 20K. Now, I want you to remember, you guys, I am OCD hi-fi guy. So I'm at the top of this whole thing, okay? That's what I'm striving for. So when I say 15 to 20 for a DAC, and you guys are going, holy crap, I can't even fathom that. Don't fret. You're not who I'm talking to, but you can still listen into this and understand it a little bit better. I will put together systems and things, stepping stones for people to get to the final stopping point. Again, with Mikey, my goal is to stop you from doing this trail chasing. That's my goal. Get you off the merry-go-round so we can go do other shit together. Because I'm making friends when I do this, and I meet guys that want to go motorcycle riding, and guys that want to go shooting, and guys that want to go car racing, and guys that want to do other stuff that I love to do that isn't hi-fi. And then we sit and we listen to hi-fi, but when we listen to hi-fi, we're talking about the music. We're not talking about the gear. Blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, how boring to sit and talk about gear all the time. I can't take it, man. I'd much rather talk about music. Let's share music, okay? I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So anyways, enough of your time. I will see you later.